Hey everyone, Olivia here. Pastor Ryan is on sabbatical this summer, so until he gets back, I will be re-releasing some of the most favorite episodes from the Reflections podcast. Today's episode originally aired in October of 2023 and was actually the fourth episode we ever released. It also comes from Pastor Ryan's dream interpretation era. Enjoy.
What is up, everybody? My name is Ryan Braley. I am the pastor at a wonderful church in Elk River, Minnesota, Central Lutheran Church, and I am here in studio with Mike. What's up, Mike?
Not much.
How you doing, buddy?
Living the dream, as always.
I living the dream. Hey, speaking of dreams, I had a dream about a month ago, and I want to share it with you guys because I think it was this incredibly profound moment, and I've been having some pretty vivid dreams lately. And anyway, I want to tell you one. I thought it would be helpful to talk about it with you all because I think it's maybe a call to each of us, even though I had the dream, but I would say what I took from the dream is applicable to each and every one of us. But anyway, I found this book. I was at a bookstore in Ohio. I was visiting my sister in Ohio, and the book was by a famous psychologist called Carl Jung. You probably have heard of him. Anyway, Jung wrote a book called Man and His Symbols, and it's basically a book about dreams. So I pick up this book, and I'm flying home, and I'm reading this book about dreams, and I'm not kidding. I fall asleep on the plane, and I had about, a 5-minute nap, but in that nap, I had a dream. It was an incredibly vivid dream, and when I woke up, I'm in the middle of the plane, and I remembered it instantly, and I wanted to shout to the whole plane, like, hey, everybody, I just had this dream. I'm reading a book about dreams by Carl Jung. I had a dream, and it was incredibly vivid and moving, and I think profound. But of course, I didn't do that. Maybe I should have, but I didn't yell out on the plane. But here's the dream. So I'm at my in-laws' house. They live in Elk River, just down the road. And across the street from them live my brother-in-law and his wife and their 2 sons. Anyway, on my in-laws' porch stood my nephew. His name is Isaac. He's just a wonderful young lad. He's almost 5 years old, and just a bundle of energy. I call him Bam Bam from the Flintstones because he's just a wild, like Huck Finn kind of a kid. They live on the river. He's out catching frogs, running around with his shirt off. Just a little boy. He's always dirty and just a wild man. And I love grabbing him and squeezing him and like just being physical with him. I just love the little guy. And in my mind, he always embodies what I think like youthfulness and young boyhood looks like. He really does. So in my dream, Isaac was standing on my in-laws' front porch, and he's got like long flowing blonde hair. It's real curly, and it's like bleach blonde hair. And he's wearing this blue polo shirt, like a Ralph Lauren polo shirt with a little red horse. It's like a navy blue shirt with a red horse. And it's the exact same shirt I wore a bunch when I was younger. I was in high school, and I loved that shirt. So here's my nephew who's on this porch, and he's like sort of this embodiment of youthful energy and young boyhood, and he's wearing my shirt, and he looks right at me and waves and says, "Bye, Ryan." And then I woke up, and I was like, "Yo, everybody, I had this crazy dream." But again, I didn't say that. But in my head, I knew immediately what the dream meant. And it was something like this. I'm 40, how old am I, Mike? I'm 43? I forget, 43. And I'm kind of coming into that, almost that middle age. And I'm trying to be intentional as I live about going into the second half of my life and being about the right things, growing deeper in a number of things, but just caring about the right things. And I want to be intentional about how I do that. And so I'm trying to look into this next half of my life and be a man who's present and giving and, serve, all those kinds of things. And here's this little boy in this dream who, again, embodies youthful energy and maybe my own childhood in some ways. And he's waving goodbye. And I thought immediately this was an invitation to move into the second half of life and to really put aside childish things. Maybe selfish tendencies that I have. Children tend to be sort of egocentric. They think about themselves a lot. And when you're really little, they think about themselves entirely and think that the world revolves around them, like literally. And then as we grow older, we go from being egocentric to maybe like family-centric or like tribal-centric, which is a great leap to make. But then ideally, you want to keep going and become not just tribal-centric, where you only care about your tribe. You want to become sort of global-centric and have a sense of a global community that you're a part of. And then from there, the next sort of phase of growth, like becoming cosmic centric, or having just a grander view of life and your place in it. And so, in many ways, to grow and mature and to become that person, you have to let go of sort of these older ways of doing things and seeing things, and being a young, selfish, sort of egocentric, in my case, young boy. And so, I felt like it was an invitation to do that, and I thought it was beautiful. But here's the crazy thing. Like, Mike, a week later, I was thinking about this dream some more, and I was actually talking about it with a friend of mine, and he said, I wonder if it's an invitation also, not an invitation, but really like a warning. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, I wonder if it's also a warning for you to not let go entirely of your childhood self. And the moment he said that, like, it totally resonated with me. Like, yeah, I think there was also this warning, like, Ryan, don't let go of your youthful self. So Jesus says this in the Gospels, that, hey, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like a little child, you'll never enter the kingdom of heaven. And so I thought it was like, yeah, of course, grow up. I mean, Paul says in 1 Corinthians, when I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, and I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, Paul writes, I put away the childish things behind me. But I also think there's this invitation to all of us, like, don't lose that childhood self. Be like a child, like Jesus says, like, never lose your hope for things to get better, or your wild-eyed wonder at the world. Like, children always just have this wonderful capacity to have wonder, and they're enamored by many things, ideally, And so I think this dream for me was an invitation to move into the second half of life with my eyes wide open, to be a man who gives and serves my community and grows from being egocentric to ethnocentric to then global, maybe even cosmic centric for sure, and to grow and mature and sacrifice, but also a warning to never let that little boy go. Like, my little boy can't drive the car because he'll crash the car, but I want to maintain that youthful exuberance and joy and excitement and wonder at the world. So my invitation to all of you is, as you grow and mature, of course, move into your second half of life or your next phase of life with your eyes wide open, give and love and sacrifice and let go of childish things, but also never lose that inner child that wants to see the world the way that Jesus sees it. All right, that's it. That's what I got for you. So love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, if you enjoy this show, I'd love to have you share it with some friends. And don't forget, you are always welcome to join us in person at Central in Elk River at 8:30, which is our liturgical gathering, or at 10 o'clock, our modern gathering. Or you can check us out online at clcelkriver.org. Peace.